Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, the Michigan State baseball team looked for its first series win since March 23rd. The women's tennis team welcomed in a duo of West Coast foes, and the gymnastics team looks to head to the NCAA championships in Fort Worth, Texas.
Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Jack Stager.
And I'm Brad LaPlante. Jack, after fighting through some cold weather, it looks like we're officially moving into spring in Michigan.
Yeah, we sure are, Brad, and no 70-degree day yet in April. And one team that's been playing in this cold spring weather has been the Michigan State baseball team, and they launched a 9-game homestand on Wednesday. The team started off with Central Michigan, and Michigan State tallied 4 first-inning runs, but would record just 3 hits the rest of the way, including sophomore Parker Pico's 4th home run of the year. Michigan State would relinquish their lead in the 7th inning, however, and CMU would hold on to prevail 6-5, defeating Michigan State. Following the midweek loss, the Spartans looked to snap their losing streak against the Northwestern Wildcats. Early in the first, Sam Bush would hit a 2-run Bush blast to even the score at 2-2, and after that, it was all Wildcats. Northwestern was up 9-3 until a late game rally from the Spartans, who took the lead 10-9 in the bottom of the 8th. That was until Northwestern's Ryan Kucherek would hit this one all the way to center field to tie the game at 10-10 in the top of the 9th. The game would go to extra innings, and both teams would remain scoreless in the 10th until the top of the 11th, when the Wildcats' Joshua Ramos put an RBI single to go up 11-10, and eventually Michigan State could not answer, and they would walk away with a Game 1 loss. In Game 2 of the series, it was a pitching duel through the first 5 innings. In the 6th, that all changed when Dayton Murphy would hit a single, sparking the Spartan offense. 4 batters later, Bush's single would allow Murphy and Ryan McKay to cross home plate, putting Michigan State up 2-0. Still in that same inning, and now up 3-0, bases loaded, Parker Pico would hit this towering ball over the left fielder's head. A grand slam, his 2nd grand slam of the season, making the score 7-0 after 6. Following another run in the 7th, the game would end after 8 innings with this double to right center from Caleb Berry, who would put the nail in the Wildcats' coffin with a 10-0 run rule victory. In the 3rd and final game on Sunday, the 6th inning also featured all the action. Northwestern's Owen McElpatrick gave the Wildcats the first run of the game, but in this bottom half of the inning, MSU immediately responded. A leadoff double to right center field from JT Sokolov started the dominant inning. Then Ryan McKay had a double of his own to score MSU's first run. Finally, Bush clobbered the 3rd double of the inning, adding to the monster frame, and the green and white would hold on to the lead, defeating Northwestern 3-1 and clinching the series victory. MSU moves to 19-15 overall and 6-9 in Big Ten play, eyeing hopes for a spot in the Big Ten tournament. The Spartans will look to take this momentum the rest of the way into their long homestand as they face off against Western Michigan tonight at 6 p.m.
Michigan State softball claimed 1 of 3 games against the Illinois Fighting Illini this past weekend. After a 12-4 5-inning loss in Game 1, Michigan State battled back to take a 7-5 win in Game 2, courtesy of Sidney Dolazecki, 2 home runs in Game 3 on Sunday. MSU couldn't hold a 4-2 lead as 2 Illini home runs in the bottom of the 7th secured Illinois the 5-4 victory and the series win. The Spartans will face off against Notre Dame at 6 p.m. tonight at Sekia Stadium before hosting Washington this weekend.
The number 28 men's tennis team had a West Coast weekend, taking on 2 ranked opponents, and after losing the doubles point, Friday's contest between the Spartans and the number 26 USC Trojans came down to the number 3 singles match. Ozan Barish, Mitchell Sheldon, and Matthew Forbes all secured victories, leaving it up to senior Max Sheldon. After a grueling battle with Oscar Waitman, the Trojan was forced to withdraw due to an injury, giving the Spartans an upset 4-3 win. On Sunday, the team took on another LA Big Ten team, the 32nd ranked UCLA Bruins. After taking 2 of the 3 doubles matches, the Spartans lost 4 of the 6 singles matches, ultimately losing the match 4-1 to the Bruins. After splitting the weekend, MSU moves to 14-8 overall and 9-3 in the Big Ten. The Spartans' next matchup is against the University of Michigan on Saturday.
On Saturday, the number 58 women's tennis team faced off against number 17 Washington for the third time ever and first since 2009. Despite a valiant effort from partners Ellie Blackford and Lisa Vevalainen, along with Amara Brombot and Matilde Morais, both duos fell to their Husky competitors. A similar trend happened in singles, with each Spartan losing their matchup. The day ended with Washington taking the win by a 4-0 deficit. The next afternoon, the Spartans would take on Oregon for the first time in program history in their last home match of the season. The Spartans struggled at first, losing the doubles point. The singles matches would be crucial to secure a victory. Brombot started out hot, completing a 6-2, 6-3 victory, tying the score at 1. Against Oregon, Oriana Parkins-Godwin extended the Spartans' lead, securing another singles victory for the green and white. Oregon fought back with a straight set win by Patsy Daughters, tying it at 2. The singles match between Juliet Santito and Hannah Tidevets was tense as both the first and second sets went into tiebreakers. Tidevets won both sets, securing the third singles point for Michigan State. Vevalainen fought through 3 sets to conquer her Oregon opponent, securing the victory for MSU. The Spartans travel to Ann Arbor on Saturday to face the number 5 Michigan Wolverines.
Out of all the winter sports on campus, one is still dancing, and it's the Michigan State women's gymnastics team, as the Spartans are now competing in the NCAA championships for the first time since 1988. Before jetting off to the semifinals, head coach Mike Rowe and some of the gymnasts spoke to the media, including Spartan Sports Report's Michaela Mazza, as she joins us now from Jenison Fieldhouse. Michaela?
Thanks, Brad and Jack. I'm at Jenison Fieldhouse right now, where today we had the opportunity to talk to a few members of the women's gymnastics team about their upcoming trip to Fort Worth.
Yeah, I think it's really shown in our scores even how we are really reaching our high right now. We've got 198s in postseason, which is really, really crazy, and I don't think that we've done that before, not at regionals, not at Big Tens. So those are 2 really high scores, good scores to get us rolling. So it's just that kind of energy and that kind of skill level that we're just building upon and pushing into nationals with.
I feel like we kind of proved ourselves this past weekend at regionals that we're right up there with the big dogs. I mean, we were really close to LSU, and they're ranked number 1 in the country, so I think that was a good show to put on and show that we're really ready to play this week.
These kids know they can hang with the best, and when it comes down to it, our same kind of feel is, stay in our bubble, and it's all about us, and we don't care what everybody else is doing. We don't want to know what everybody else is doing. We don't need those distractions. So, yeah, I think it's exciting. It's going to make for some really exciting gymnastics. I'm hoping lots of people, tune in and watch.
The NCAA Championship semifinal will take place on April 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. From Jenison Fieldhouse, I'm Michaela Mazza, Spartan Sports Report.
Thank you so much, Michaela. Best of luck to Mike Rowe's team this weekend as they hope to make Spartan history.
On Friday night, Michigan State hockey's junior forward Isaac Howard won the Hobey Baker Award, which honors the most outstanding player in college hockey. The Big Ten scoring champion and player of the year finished his season with 52 points, good for 5th in the NCAA. The Tampa Bay Lightning first-round draft pick announced that last week that he will be opting out of starting his NHL career and returning to Michigan State for his senior season.
Yeah, I want to win a national championship. I didn't play to win a Hobey. At the end of the day, I want to win a national championship. I think we're going to have the group to do it. It comes down to the tournament at the end of the year, We just got to be ready and make sure we don't leave anything on the table.
Yeah, good news for Michigan State hockey fans as Isaac Howard will be joining Trey Augustine for another year of Michigan State hockey. The track and field team, though, however, sent 4 athletes to the Duke Invitational as senior Dylan Terraberry and freshman Sean Mullen competed in decathlon. Terraberry had a career-best point total of 6,673 points to place 5th, and Mullen made his collegiate debut, finishing in 8th in the event. Moving over to the women's half of athletes, 2 Spartans competed in the heptathlon. Freshman Layla Barmore finished 10th, and grad student Avery Buds was right behind, finishing in 11th. Michigan State will now compete again in the Virginia Invite beginning on April 18th.
The 25th ranked Michigan State women's golf team competed in its final regular season match this past weekend. The Spartans hold a strong showing at the Buckeye Invitational, finishing 2nd out of 13 teams. Brooke Bierman and Taylor Kehoe both led the way with a 2 under and 2 over score. Bierman ended in 3rd and Kehoe finished in 5th. Michigan State will take this success and look towards the weekend when they compete in the Big Ten championships at Bull Rock Golf Course.
Michigan State men's golf journeyed over to North Carolina to face 14 teams at the Tar Heel Intercollegiate this past weekend. When the dust settled, Sparty came out in 4th place, shooting 14 over par and finishing with a team score of 854. Sophomore Lorenzo Panilli was pivotal in the Spartans' high placement as he tied for 10th place individually, finishing 1 over par over 3 days of competition. The gentlemen hope to keep the good times rolling into next weekend at the Boilermaker Intercollegiate for the Spartans' regular season finale.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Spartan Sports Report.
For more updates on Spartan athletics, make sure to check out all of our social medias and the Spartan Newsroom website. I'm Jack Stager.
And I'm Brad LaPlante. We will see you again next week for the final show of the semester.